weeks, Jennifer became a different version of herself, not in obvious ways that Michael would notice, but in the quiet, determined way that someone prepares for battle. She started documenting everything. She retrieved old bank statements, credit card bills, and investment records. She made copies of documents she'd never bothered to read carefully before. She discovered things that made the betrayal even deeper. Michael had opened accounts she didn't know about. He'd made investments in his name only. He'd created a financial infrastructure that excluded her almost entirely from the wealth they'd supposedly built together. The private investigator, a woman named Diane, with gray hair and kind eyes, provided evidence that went beyond the affair. Michael had been using company resources for personal benefit, taking Vanessa on business trips that had minimal business purpose, charging romantic dinners to client entertainment accounts, and using his influence to fast-track her career in ways that violated firm policy. The paper trail was extensive, and it painted a picture of a man who'd become comfortable blurring ethical lines. Diane also uncovered that this wasn't Michael's first affair. There had been another associate 3 years ago, a relationship that had ended when the woman left the firm. Jennifer felt stupid for not seeing it, for trusting so completely, for believing that love meant not questioning or verifying or protecting yourself. Jennifer's attorney, Marcus Chen, was nothing like Michael. He was blunt, practical, and refreshingly honest about what divorce would look like. He reviewed the prenup she'd signed years ago, the one Michael's firm had drafted, and she'd barely skimmed before their wedding. It wasn't as ironclad as Michael seemed to think. Texas was a community property state, and there were ways to challenge agreements signed under certain conditions. Marcus asked Jennifer questions nobody had asked her in years. What did she want? What did she need? What would make her feel whole again? Jennifer realized she didn't have clear answers. But for the first time in a long time, someone was treating her priorities as if they mattered. Marcus explained that they had several options. They could file quietly and negotiate, or they could file publicly and let Michael's misconduct become part of the record. Each approach had risks and benefits, and the choice was entirely hers. Jennifer thought about it for 2 days. She imagined taking the quiet route, protecting Michael's reputation, making the divorce as painless as possible despite what he'd planned for her. Then she remembered Vanessa's laughter, Michael's calculated timeline, the way they'd discussed her life like it was theirs to manage. She remembered every dinner she'd hosted for his colleagues, every event she'd coordinated to make him look good, every sacrifice she'd made while he built an exit strategy. On a Wednesday morning, exactly 6 weeks after she'd first heard that conversation through the baby monitor, Jennifer told Marcus to file the papers. She wanted them served at Michael's office, during business hours, in a way that would make hiding impossible. The papers were delivered on a Thursday afternoon. Jennifer knew the exact moment Michael received them because her phone started ringing immediately. She didn't answer. He called 11 times in 20 minutes, then switched to texts, his messages evolving from confusion to anger, to something approaching panic.